Hi, welcome to the Sage's Cabin podcast. I'm your host, Rox Madeira. So grab a cup of tea and come and join me in the Sage's Cabin as we chat about everything from herbal gardening, herbal medicine, movement practices, wild food, postnatal and just general well-being. Today I'm talking to Chris from Transition Stirling, which is an environmental charity focusing on helping people in the Stirlingshire area transition to a more resilient, sustainable way of living, and it provides a positive local response to climate change. So we're talking all about their workshops and their tool library and repair workshops, etc. So they're going to be at the Wild Foods Festival in September. So I hope you enjoy the podcast. Hi Chris.
Hi Rox, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Good, yeah, thank you.
Thanks for joining me on the podcast, and we're looking forward to having you at the Scottish Wild Food Festival in September.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
It would be great if we could start with you talking about what you do, Transition Stirling, and just tell us all about it.
Okay, so Transition Stirling is an environmental charity based in Stirling, but covering Stirlingshire, so the whole area. We've been going for about 12 years or so now, I think. And we have many projects. We include the tool library, so you can borrow items from us for free, just like a book library, but it's a library of things. So we've got power tools, hand tools, gardening, kitchen, crafting, and all sorts, everything in between. We also have a community food project where we're taking surplus food from the supermarkets that might otherwise be wasted, or people can donate as well. So we have a few people from the allotments that donate surplus food to us as well. And we distribute that out to whoever wants it. It's not based on need, it's based on want. We also have a wood reuse project where we're taking pallets and scrap wood and making things from them, such as planters, garden furniture. We've done a couple of commissions for schools for benches and various other bits and pieces. And we run events as well. So we run events around cooking, growing, foraging, sewing, furniture upcycling, film screenings, all with an aim to educate and deliver skills around sustainability, reusing, and climate awareness.
Okay. And you're going to be coming to the festival to do a workshop. What is it that? How do you think that the festival kind of fits in with what you're doing, and also what's the workshop that you're going to be offering?
Well, first of all, we attended the first Scottish Wild Food Festival a couple of years ago, and this is why I want to come back, because it was such a fantastic day. But the whole festival sort of fits in with our ethos, because we're all about seasonal and sustainable. And I think the festival really promotes that, having local producers and artisans and chefs, etc. So keeping everything within quite a small locale is quite important to us. And of course seasonal as well, because if we're taking seasonal, then we're sort of working with nature. And furthermore, there was quite a lot of focus on foraging last year, and I'm sure that'll be the same this year as well. And that you can't really get too much more local and seasonal if you're going out and foraging what's in the local area anyway. So what we're going to be doing is sort of tapping into to both of those. There's a contact around Stirling who has the most productive apple tree I think I've ever seen. So we're going to be collecting apples. I think it took about 3 of us an hour and a half to collect all the apples last year. There was so many. So we're going to get a load of apples and then do some apple juicing for anyone who stops by, and we'll have a chat about Transition Stirling, about the environment, and you can have some freshly squeezed apple juice that you've squeezed yourself. We have a massive apple press and fruit crusher, so we'll be bringing that along so you can squeeze your own apple juice and enjoy it.
Sounds nice. It's quite often you see apple trees in parks and stuff, don't you, that the apples just end up just lying on the floor and nobody ever takes them.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Like there's so many community orchards that are just sadly going to waste, and some really, really good fruit, the best fruit in Stirling on these apple trees.
It's funny, isn't it? Because I think you go out and you spend the money to buy them in supermarkets, but you're never sure whether you're allowed to pick them, you know, in parks and stuff. Everyone's a bit like, oh, somebody else must be going to pick them, and then nobody does.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, so I guess the whole our event and your project all kind of trying to tell people to you can pick the apples and or the blackberries or whatever else and use them instead of them just going to waste. Obviously within reason, leaving stuff for the animals and birds and everything.
yeah, absolutely. The Foragers Code is very important.
Yeah. To say how people can get in contact with you and with Transition Stirling.
Yeah, so we have we're across all the social media, so Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, etc. We have our website, which is probably the best first point of call because that's where everything goes, the events and contact and everything. You can contact us straight through the website or just email info@transitionsterling.org.uk. Currently, we're having major issues with our phone line, so it's best not to phone right now. Probably emailing is the best way. And you can also come in and see us at 5 Well Green Lane in Stirling. It's a little bit tucked away, but the community food project's open every day 10 till 12, so you can come in and check that out. And the tool library itself is open Tuesday and Friday mornings and Thursday afternoon, evening until 7.
Okay. And do you help other people set up things like this if they are interested in setting up in their areas?
Indeed, yes. I've personally been out to Killin, who's trying to, or have set up recycling out there, and we were involved with or helping out with Cumbernauld Tool Library as well. And very excitingly, we've recently secured some Erasmus funding, which is going to help us try and develop tool libraries with some European partners. So we're sort of very early stages with that, but yeah, watch this space. But we're always happy to help someone to give advice and information, because we've been going, for the tool library itself has been going a few years now, so we know what to do, what not to do, and potential pitfalls, etc. Yeah, we're always very very happy to help and encourage people to do this sort of thing.
And do you think there's more and more people becoming involved in it and kind of realizing the use of what you do?
Absolutely, yeah. I think the right to repair has become quite a big thing and is now in common parlance. It's something that people, I think programs such as the Repair Shop and Money for Nothing have been really helpful to this as well. I think libraries of things are popping up all over the place. I'm actually in a meeting this week with a network of libraries of things. Transition Stirling went down to London for the inaugural Library of Things consortium. That wasn't the word they used, but it works. Where libraries of things from places like Belfast, Edinburgh, ourselves, Bath, and Bristol, Birmingham. I think everyone sort of came together, and we're sort of trying to develop this sort of almost this network of libraries of things to try and promote the idea and to get them in every town. Essentially, that's the dream. So waste is really taken down to a minimum. So like, for example, 10 people borrowing one of our drills means that 9 drills aren't being bought. And if you scale that up across every town and city, then the numbers are just quite staggering, really. And things like drills, cordless drills and things, there's a lot of rare earth elements, especially in the batteries, and that can reduce the need for mining and etc.
Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, I guess it's that kind of think small but act globally, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah, totally. I mean, there's a lot of things that you can do within your own town, or at least like where we are, we're quite well placed because we're in the central belt. We've got Edinburgh and Glasgow and Perth to some extent as well, I guess. And if you can't do it or find it in any of them, probably you don't need it or don't want it.
And so people can they just come along and drop in? Like, how do you actually borrow stuff from the library?
So you need to become a member, and you can do that through the website, or you can come in and talk to us, and we can sign you up.
Okay.
And you pay an annual. Well, it's a suggested donation for a year. So the suggestion is £30 for the year. But we're aware that times have been tough recently, and because we're a university town as well, we get a lot of students. And I remember what it's like being a student. You don't have any disposable income. So the idea is that we would rather people don't pay and use the service than don't use the service because they can't feel like they can pay. Mm-hmm. So even if it's a £10 note or whatever, or some people will not pay in the interim and then immediately, and then when they've realized that they've used the service a lot, then make a donation down the line, and we're more than happy with that. And then you just need to show us a photographic ID and proof of the address within the last 3 months, and then you're good to go. You can borrow whatever you like for a maximum of a month in week-long blocks. So if you borrow an item, you've got it for a week unless no one else wants to reserve that item. But otherwise, you can renew it. You can have as many items out as you want at a time. And we also have things like drill bits that you can borrow, and all sorts of things. Then your membership lasts, currently it'll last until March the 31st, because that's when our funding runs out, and we're yet to see what happens after that. Okay.
And you have like a repair?
We do have a repair service. Yeah, I forgot all about the repair service. So you can bring items in, small electricals or mechanical items or anything. We take pretty much anything apart from textiles. And we're sort of looking into doing IT repairs as well. Our IT repair guy has sadly recently left us. He's qualified as a teacher, so he's going into bigger and better things. But yeah, you can bring your items in, and we'll do our best to fix them. And again, suggested fee of £15, but again, pay as you feel on any of that.
And that's quite good as well, because that obviously takes a lot of things out of landfill, but also saves a lot of money, doesn't it?
Totally.
Buying new things constantly.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, it's like trying to get people to get into a different mindset of, instead of just having to, I need this, have to go and buy it. It's
yeah.
Like I can
this
borrow
is
it or reuse it.
I was speaking to a woman in a shop a while ago, and every year she buys a new kettle because it's easier than getting it pat tested every year. And that just, it's frustrating.
Yeah.
Like every single year, a new kettle.
And it's not a broken kettle?
No, perfectly fine. It's only a year old.
Right. I thought she was getting really unlucky broken kettles every year.
No.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, that is good. And then the food
project.
Yeah, is a really good idea as well. I remember I used to work in a soup kitchen, and we used to have donations from some companies. And then at one point they just said, we're not allowed to give you anything anymore. And they started just throwing things in the bin and just spraying them with all this blue paint and stuff. And so that nobody could actually go in and get them. And it was just ridiculous.
Yeah, I used to work in a supermarket, and it was the same. We'd waste things. I started refusing to do it because I just couldn't do it anymore. We'd be wasting things that were fine. There's nothing wrong with them. They're in sealed packages, but because the box is open, like biscuits in individual packaging, but the box is open, so we can't sell it, so we have to throw it out.
I know supermarket's quite happy now to give these out to people.
Yeah.
But to you, to your project.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. I don't know what happened at that point. Everybody suddenly was like, no, we can't give anything out. It's all this health and safety. Somebody might get sick.
Yeah.
If you just spray it in your bin, and then everyone's going to get sick anyway.
Yeah, absolutely.
If they come and do bin
I think what it possibly is there's maybe one sentence in small print that's ambiguous, and then they cover themselves. It's like, no, we're blanket ban on everything. It's like, you should not give out food. And I was like, we should not. We're not going to. I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, that's good to hear that's changed anyway. People.
Yeah. I think there was an outrage a few years ago about how much food was actually going to waste. And then I remember someone was taken to court for taking food out of the bins behind a supermarket, and I think it was suggested that wasn't a good idea to take someone to court for that. I think they were tied up or homeless or something. It's like, come on, have some humanity. If someone's going through the bins to get food, they probably need the food, right?
Yeah, or they just don't want to see it going to waste.
Yeah.
We used to do that in our flat.
yeah. I know many people who did as well. Yeah.
But anyway. So yeah, your project sounds great, and we're looking forward to seeing it at the festival. So it was really nice to chat with you.
Yeah, you too. We're very much looking forward to being there as well.
I hope you got some ideas and some inspiration from that interview with Chris from Transition Stirling, and they will be at the Scottish Wild Food Festival in September, tickets for which are on sale now, and the workshop bookings are open now as well. It's going to be at Tirnanog, just outside of Drimmen near Glasgow, and you can get tickets from www.scottishwildfoodfestival.co.uk. As always, if you enjoyed the podcast, please like, share and subscribe, and tell everybody else about it. Thank you.